About this, you look at the main driver of the economy in Kenya now. It's business, it's enterprise. I think all we need is a small government, an easy environment to work in, an easy environment to start a business.
The people who are dealing with diaspora clients don't seem to appreciate the difficulties we operate from here.
Kenyans met in London early this year, a meeting initiated by the Kenyan Diaspora Investment Forum under the leadership of Julius Kaberere. The aim of the meeting was to mobilize Kenyans to multiply their investment in Kenya, to share avenues of investment, and to share experiences of their investment in their home country, Kenya.
You've got a government in Kisumu, a government in Nyeri, a government in Mombasa, Nairobi. You get into problems or your business that's in Kisumu, it's got no link to the one in Mombasa. It just becomes a mess when you have all these different governments working.
You find they cannot help you to invest because they don't even know, communicate with you to tell you how is your money is doing or advise you. Now you got account with us, there is a new investment coming on, do you want us to do it for you? They just keep quiet until such time you travel and appear in the bank to find your account has been dormant because you have not been operating it. And there is nowhere says this account belongs to diaspora so that they can keep it aloof. So it's just there. If something happens to me, say if I die here, I don't need my people to ever get that money anywhere.
Among the speakers included Councillor Marianne Alapini, who talked at length on how the UKTI can be instrumental in assisting British Kenyans to expand their ideas to Kenya legally.
And I'm committed to working with the UKTI to identify sources of regeneration funding so that a customized and structured capacity building program is developed for Kenyans in the diaspora to promote and facilitate trade missions to Kenya so that Kenyan-owned businesses are able to invest in confidence back home.
The role of the diaspora in influencing the investment under Vision 2030 through the media was an exciting speech, which opened eyes on how communication could aid development.
The role of the media is to inform, entertain, and educate. And the first role of the media is to create awareness and make sure that Kenyans themselves, including the investors who are interested in Kenya, fully understand the Vision 2030. Another role is for the media to provide information to the public and also to the investors. For the people who visit Kenya, who are interacting with the Kenyan media, we have an opportunity for you to come to our stations. Let us interact with you. Let us know what ideas you have because you're here, and you can bring those ideas back home because we need to share more and help Kenya achieve Vision 2030.
The prospect of Lamu as the newest investment destination brought about by the development plans by the government opens new doors for assured returns on investment, highlighted Mr. Nguru Washira, director of Lamu 2000 Limited.
Now, Kenya is the only country in the world that has got all the ecological zones. Kenya is the only country in the world that has got 95% of the bird species. Kenya is the only country where you've got snow on the equator. Naturally, that's why it is summer in Kenya throughout. Now communication has come in. So you can be on holiday, because summer is for holidays, throughout and be working. So you can be in Kenya, and you can be working anywhere in the world. We've come with M-Pesa, a great innovation. You were told this morning. And I'm telling you, while you are there, your creative mind is now very much encouraged to get into gear, because we've been told government doesn't matter. That's what the new constitution is about. That is what the Kibaki administration has demonstrated, that even if government does not work, the economy can continue moving. We are all children of Kenya. All of us are brilliant in our own way. We've moved because of negative experiences. And we wish those negative experiences were not there. because we are proud about what we are.
A former British High Commission to Kenya, Jeffrey James, shared his experiences in Kenya and gave his opinion on how diaspora can help to build Kenya.
I do feel that, and I've always felt, that the Kenyan diaspora has a great deal to contribute and also a great many ways in which they can benefit. I suspect that the great majority of you, given a chance, will want to be successful in Kenya rather than successful in Britain. And I think the success, what I would like to see is that more and more of you feel that your future lies in contributing to Kenya, getting back to your own country and doing things there. Obviously, there are many of you who don't want to do that because you've built your own lives here, you've built your own businesses, families, whatever. But I'm sure equally there are many whose preference, if it was there, would be to go back to Kenya and do it there. So
the attendees discussed challenges that faces Kenyans abroad while trying to access opportunities and on safety of their investment. Also, recommendations were given that the government, private sectors, and individuals can take to enable a more accommodating investment environment.
If we want to move Kenya, we have to look at political parties as institutions that bring in ideologies of development, that bring in that ethic value, that this is an institution that needs to change the style of life I live to better, but not to kill me because of being called Wanjiro or maybe Elachi as from Western Province and all that. So for us in the diaspora as the 48th county, because back home, that is what you're now being called, you need to ask yourself, this space that I'm being given as a 48th county, what am I going to do to change Kenya to a better Kenya?
At the forum, Gasharage Self-Help Group members and Murata Sacco chairman and board of directors attended the forum to share the successes of such organizations and also how they can help Kenyans abroad build their hometowns. They were in London for a study tour on marketing and improving product packaging for their produce.
We chose to come here so that we can open the minds of the leaders. The people we have here are all leaders, and all leaders coming from various parts of Murang'a, so that they can take a picture back home that can help us to shape up the county of Murang'a.
Julius Kaberere urged Kenyans to have faith in their home country. He insisted that the country needs us, and as for him, he has decided to go and serve his country, hence declaring the candidacy for Murang'a governors.
Now, I think the words that I take home as Julius from this conference is that my country needs me. It needs to invest, it needs to take your skills, it needs to communicate with your people, it needs, of course, to engage, and of course, we have the opportunity because the diaspora, particularly in the UK, will be voting in the next general election.
So Kenyans abroad, this was a great forum because we have discussed of what we can do to enable our investment serves us as for now and as for future.
Kenyans for Kenya, Kenyans for Kenya, Kenyans for Kenya.
Viewers, Kenyans for Kenya. And today it was a great day because we are used to coming here and seeing a lot of Kenyan companies telling us what they are selling. But today it was different because everybody was discussing about what problems they're having investing in Kenya. We also had people who are coming to tell us about new products that you viewers have not thought about. So watch out. And first, self-help groups in Kenya are doing very well. So why are they doing very well instead of the mainstream? So
actually, we wanted to alleviate, if not reduce, to reduce, if not alleviate, kabisa, poverty amongst our community. Our community is composed of old people and young people, all willing to develop their talents in farming, especially dairy farming.
The forum today, Kenyans for Kenya.
Yes.
Why did you want to get engaged and come talk about e-banking?
You see, one of the important things you need to recognize currently is that Kenya is the leading mobile money user, not only in Africa, but globally. Mobile money has been entrenched in Kenya and created what we now call branchless banking in the Kenyan context, which addresses both the upper class and the lower class. You know, the peasants in Kenya are now using mobile banking through three main channels: M-Pesa for Safaricom, Airtel Money for Airtel, and Orange Money for the Orange network. And this alone is accountable for up to $35 million of transactions per day. You know, so just imagine that kind of money moving within the unbanked population of Kenya as a whole. You know,
very well said. I mean, like, the concept is great.
Yeah.
You've heard the Kenyans speaking here today about the frustration they face in terms of accessing their accounts, accessing their money, lack of internet banking. What would you tell the diaspora? Because you come here presenting e-banking. Can they trust that Kenya can actually move to that level?
Yes, certainly. This is the first time, you know, and as they say, Rome was not built in one day. There always a need to start somewhere. This is the first time e-banking is being discussed in such a forum, and this is the first opportunity members of the diaspora of Kenya are actually learning that a lot of banks which are here also have internet banking facilities which are integrated with the existing branches inside Kenya. So what we are saying now is that we are knocking on the door, we are educating by introducing a new method of communication to the Kenyans in the diaspora to get them to understand the opportunities that are available for accessing this service, and it should not be limited to only M-Pesa or Airtel Money or Orange Money in the country. It could actually be done more securely and more reliably by opening up formal internet banking accounts with any one of the 40 banks that are operating in Kenya. At least more than half of them are represented here in London. So it's a beginning, and we hope that the Kenyans in the diaspora are going to start trusting this kind of mechanism.
Thank you very much. You know, viewers, everyone is moaning about how our money is getting lost in Kenya. Maybe, and just maybe, with this e-banking could be the solution. We all need to manage our finances back in Kenya.
Well, I've always been struck by the fact that there are so many people, Kenyans outside Kenya, with skills, with experience, with vitality, resilience, entrepreneurship, who perhaps could contribute back in Kenya and give much more back to Kenya than they perhaps can in the US or the UK. There are maybe hundreds of thousands of really good, solid Kenyans working overseas who've made a success of their lives. Why isn't it possible that they could go back to Kenya and make a new life for themselves there in a way and contribute to the development of the country? I can understand in many ways why they don't want to do that, because they've made themselves successful overseas. They've left Kenya because of the difficulties they've had maybe in their projects, their investment, whatever it might be. But if collectively enough went back, they could presumably all work together in some manner to change the whole climate in Kenya to their benefit, to the benefit of the country. So, as I say, I think it's a loss to Kenya that there are so many of your best working outside the country.
I mean, you mentioned something about looking at the Kenyan people and their strength, especially at low levels, and how they've been able to work. What has really surprised you, and why is it really easy for those Kenyans, like let's say the small-scale farmers, to move with all those difficulties? I mean, what did you learn about the strength of the Kenyan people?
Well, I think the ordinary Kenyan is very hardworking, very resilient, very resourceful, very keen on family. Especially the women, I think they play a great role. But in many ways, they're held back by things they can't provide themselves, like infrastructure. Do they have the right roads to get their goods to market? Are the schools good enough to educate the children for the next level of knowledge that's required? Are there sufficiently strong markets for them to use their goods? There are so many different things that make it a struggle for the poorer Kenyans. The business of the government ought to be to do everything it can to take away the obstacles for the poorer people to get on with their lives and make a success of themselves.
You talked a lot about the development in Lamu, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, what is there for the diaspora?
Investment opportunities that can't fail, because there are so many parties who are interested in the development of Lamu, and like I said, China is a principal beneficiary. Sudan and Ethiopia are demanding that Lamu provides the gateway to their economies. There is, of course, DRC Congo. There is Central African Republic, as far as Cameroon. Yes, so by creating a high-speed rail line that goes right to Cameroon, it connects China with the very rich hinterland of Africa much more effectively.
Why did you decide to do this forum this way?
No, thank you. In the first place, we wanted to encourage the Kenyan diaspora to consider re-engaging and engaging much further with the mother country, Kenya. Of course, the closing words was that my country needs me. So the call is we should go back home to invest and to, as well as participate in activities taking back home, like the general election, in terms of skills, in terms of investments, in terms of support that our people need. Because we are out here, we have seen it in a developed world, we can help our country to develop much faster. And that was the call today in the diaspora meeting.
Well, I mean, the discussions were very healthy. People were very much engaged. What did you as the organizer pick up? What are you carrying from those discussions?
I am carrying the words from Mr. Wachira. One of the speakers said that Kenya is ripe with investment opportunities. And of course, my country needs me. So I'm prepared to go back and to put some money, my money, into my country, and as well, of course, engage and challenge my other diaspora friends to engage. For example, I come from Murang'a, and recently I announced that I will be running to be the governor of Murang'a County, because I have been here in the UK for the last 8 years. I've seen things that can be done in a different way, and I know and I've seen some things that we can do in a different way. I've traveled to over 54 countries all over the world, and I think the things that I've seen and the things that the Kenyan diaspora who are here today have seen can help not only to change but transform our dear country, Kenya.
Right, and also there's a lot of people who entrusted you with their grievances today. I mean, what kind of way do you think we can take to address those grievances? People gave solutions. Do you think there were any viable solutions with the suggestion made today?
I think any solution, any suggestion is welcome. As you know, we have the new Kenyan Constitution, and there are a number of acts of parliament that are being developed. Some of the ideas that are coming from the diaspora participants and from the discussion groups are actually very interesting, and they can be passed on to the relevant organs in government. They can be passed on to the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee. They can be passed on to the Law Reform Commission, which is responsible for drafting new laws in the country, and of course the committees of parliament, so that they can also be included in the legislative process in making the new constitution work. So in essence, we are saying the diaspora have a role to play. We know this year the diaspora for the first time will be casting their votes, and in that way they will be helping to determine the destiny of their country. Thank you.
And thank you very much. As viewers, you've heard, you in the diaspora read the Constitution, understand the Kenyan law, and then take actions, because we are so much used to grieving and mourning, while those could be the opportunities right there for you to change and transform the Kenya to the best. Janet Wainaina, UKENTV, London.
Kenyans for Kenya, Kenyans for Kenya.